Besiege VR is releasing on the 31st of July. Here's my review of this chaotic, brilliant mess. And if you want 10% off the game with a launch, go down in the description and click the link. Let's go. So let me be totally upfront with you. I had no idea what Besiege was before this. I never played the PC version, never touched it on console. So when I jumped into Besiege VR early, I went in completely blind, and honestly, I'm glad I did. It turned out to be one of the most unexpectedly delightful things I've played in VR for a while. Equal parts creative, chaotic, and completely ridiculous in all the best ways. So the moment you boot into Besiege VR, you're standing in a stylized, almost toy box like medieval world. It instantly reminded me of Gone 2, not in violence necessarily, but in that same exaggerated tactile aesthetic. Everything has weight, personality, and a weird charm. There's no dramatic cutscene or overly complex setup. It just drops you into a workshop, hands you a few tools, and says go break stuff. And within 5 minutes, I was stacking flaming wheels on a wooden cube and sending it straight into a windmill. That's the kind of game Besiege is. Physics-driven destruction with just enough structure to keep you hooked and just enough chaos to keep you laughing. At the heart of the game is building, more specifically building siege engines. Whether it's catapult, flying spike balls, or machines that look like they were designed in a fever dream, the game gives you over 70 components to play with. Hinges, cannons, flamethrowers, propellers, balloons, logic gates, you name it, this game pretty much has it. The main campaign spans over 55 handcrafted levels and acts like a giant physics puzzle. You're given an objective, for example, destroy a tower, reach a point, eliminate an army, and it's up to you to build something ridiculous enough to get the job done. The levels escalate beautifully. Early missions are basic, but by the time you're halfway through, you're dealing with archers, wind gusts, lava pits, and complex traversals. There's this awesome rhythm of trial, error, explode, rebuild, repeat. So this isn't a port necessarily. Besiege VR was built specifically for VR by 3R Games, and it definitely shows. Every piece you place is done by hand. You physically grab and snap blocks into place with smooth, satisfying click. Adjusting rotation is seamless, and the user interface is clean. Nothing is too cluttered. No immersion breaking menus. You're quite literally building machines with your hands, and it's a tactile joy. The haptic feedback is fantastic. Crashing into a tower sends shockwaves through the controllers, and when a cannon fires, you feel it kick. Add spatial audio into the mix, and suddenly this cartoony sandbox feels physical and alive. So I played this on the Quest 3, and performance was surprisingly great. Even when I went overboard with parts or effects, frame rate stayed stable. I never felt motion sick or disorientated, and that's not always the case with some VR games, especially port. Now, I did have a few crashes and a few weird artifacts, but the crashes only happened when I was pushing the game outside normal limit, importing massive builds, disabling boundaries, stacking too many moving parts. For most players, staying inside the design sandbox, performance should be rock solid. I also got a few issues with the tech being stretched, but I am playing an early release build, so this may not be an issue for you guys when you start picking this up and playing it. One of the coolest features is being able to import builds from the Besiege VR workshop. You can also upload them too. There aren't many there at the moment, as you can imagine, because nobody's really playing the game and it's not been released yet, but the process is super smooth, really easy to share, and really easy to load builds into the game. So what's not there? Well, at least at launch, there is no multiplayer or expansions like the Splintered Sea. That means no water physics yet, no naval builds, and no online sharing directly in game. But even without those features, there's so much room to play, and hopefully we should get that in future. Multiplayer would be absolutely excellent. Oh, and there is a little folder inside the games for mods, so maybe mods can make stuff happen. What makes Besiege VR so addicting isn't just the building, it's watching things go hilariously wrong. You'll spend 20 minutes carefully designing a siege machine only to watch it tip over and blow itself up because of a misplaced hinge, and you'll love every second of it. There's real joy in failure here, in tinkering, in gradually perfecting something stupid until it somehow works. That feedback loop is what makes the game endlessly replayable. And even if you're not the type of person to design things from scratch, the campaign alone does offer hours of creative destruction, and the workshop will grow from here. So Besiege VR was a total surprise to me. I went in blind and I came out laughing, amazed, and a little obsessed. For fans of VR sandbox engineering, creative puzzles, or just goofy physics experimentation, this is a standout title for VR. The building tools are intuitive, the destruction is hilarious, and it all feels incredible to play. Sure, it's missing a few features at launch, and you can crash it if you push the physics too hard, but honestly, that's part of the fun. It's a glorious, janky, beautiful, ridiculous playground, and it works. Besiege VR hits the Meta Store on July 31st, and if you ever wanted to create chaos with medieval machines, or just launch a flaming cube into a castle wall, this is your chance. If you played the PC version, you'll love it in VR. If you haven't, even better, you're in for a wild ride. Thanks for watching. Drop your best builds, worst features, and weirdest contraptions in a comment, and I'll see you in the rubble. And And if you want 10% off Besiege VR when it launches, go down in the description at launch and click the link.